Okay, welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Ohio students. My name is Erin Heilmeyer and I work at Bowling Green State University, but I'm excited to help facilitate these sessions throughout the next several days. If you have questions throughout the session, feel free to use the Q&A button. You'll be able to submit your question there. Your camera and microphone are off, so any communication you need to do with the presenter can be through the Q&A section. We would encourage you to sign up for additional sessions as well in case you want to explore other colleges that are presenting through this series. And then finally, this, as well as all of the other presentations, are recorded and they will be on the OACAC website. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm going to hand it over to Megan.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to share this. Perfect. Hello, thank you for joining today. My name is Megan Medellin. I'm a Senior Assistant Director in the Office of Admissions for Indiana University Bloomington. I recruit students just from the entire state of Ohio. I love it. I'm sad I couldn't be with you guys in Ohio, but that's okay. I'm glad that we still get to meet virtually. I graduated from IU a few years ago, actually, and I decided to stay just because I loved it so much. When I was a student, I double majored in journalism and history. So I was just doing a lot of reading and a lot of writing, and I loved it. And I also studied abroad 3 times, which was also spectacular. So if you have any questions about any of my personal experiences, or if you have any questions just about IU in general, please feel free to put those in the Q&A. I'm really excited to talk to you about IU today. So a little bit about Indiana University Bloomington. We are, a large public Big Ten university in southern Indiana. We are not too far away from Ohio. I always tell students that we're not too far, but we're just far enough, right, so that your families and your parents aren't coming to visit you all the time to check up on you. We are especially known for being a diverse and welcoming community. We have more than 43,000 students on our campus, with 33,000 of those being undergrads. They come from all 50 states, over 140 different countries. So I really love the students we have on our campus. They represent a wide variety of cultural, socioeconomic, ethnic, and religious backgrounds. And an IU education is really one of the world's best. We personalize your education. We prepare you for the careers of tomorrow. This is a place where you really hone those essential skills, and you are taught, inspired, and mentored by our faculty. So IU itself is divided down into 12 schools, and the major that you choose will determine which school that you are in. But you're not confined to that school in any way. Something that I really want to emphasize today is that there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of opportunity for you here. We really, really want you to mix and match all the majors and minors that you'd like across the schools to really make your education exactly what you want it to be. So we offer over 4,000 plus courses each semester for students. We have 200 plus majors. Like I said, you can pursue different interests. You can combine into double majors, triple majors. Our students are actually allowed to have up to 3 majors and 3 minors. You don't have to do all of that, of course, but I will see students that will do things like they'll have a major, a minor, and a certificate of major, 2 minors, 2 majors, no minor. It's up to you. Again, really personalize your education. Now, nearly 60% of incoming students will enter into university division. Now, through this unique entry point at IU, students really have the freedom to, again, explore those multiple interests. And you get expert guidance on combining those majors and minors and things like that. So after you choose your career path, after you choose your academic path, and then you choose your career path. But after you choose your academic path, university division students will then apply to be within your school or in your program. So again, 60% of our students enter university division, so students who are something, or students who come in as exploratory. But there is the opportunity for you to be directly admitted into a school. 10 out of 12 of our schools offer direct admission. The only 2 that don't are the School of Nursing and the School of Social Work. But all of our other schools offer direct admission. So what has to happen is you have to list a major from one of those schools on your application, and you have to meet certain academic criteria at the time of admission. And if you are offered direct admission into one of the schools, that school will reach out to you. You won't hear from a school if you are not offered direct admission. And all the direct admission standards vary for each of the schools. So depending on which school or program you're looking to get into, I would recommend going to that school's website and seeing what those direct admission standards are. And they're pretty clear cut, so you will know once you look at their website whether or not you will be directly admitted. I love the faculty who we have on our campus. I personally, when I was a student, I had great experiences. There's a faculty member who I'm still friends with to this day, and we meet up sometimes just to hang out. Our average class size is about 30, and our student to faculty ratio is 16:1, with 65% of our undergraduate classes having fewer than 30 students. Our professors are leaders in teaching, research, performance, things like that. They really are amazing. All of our faculty are required to have office hours, which is just time that they have to set aside where you can go in and you can speak with them and you get to, learn more about them. Something I highly recommend, regardless of where you go, even if you don't come to IU, which is okay. Even if you don't come to IU, I would highly recommend going to office hours, putting a name to a face, because faculty really are one of your greatest resources. They can connect you with internship opportunities, research opportunities. They can write you letters of recommendation, things like that. And then, of course, we want to support you while you're here on campus. We want you to be successful. So each student has an individual academic advisor, depending, on which school you're in. If your major changes, your academic advisor will change as well. You don't have to be in a school to schedule a meeting with an academic advisor from a school. If you just want to schedule a meeting with somebody from the School of Public Health just because you want to learn more about exercise science, that's something that you can do. And then we offer academic support centers. Those are centers that are in each of our residence hall neighborhoods. It's really nice because it's either in the building where you live or it's right next door or right across the street. And it's just a space where you can go and you can get, that attention that you need. There's individual and group tutoring. They offer workshops and things like that. So that's really nice. And then we also have the Student Academic Center, and they do a lot of great programs and workshops throughout the year. They do things like, how to take good math notes, things like that, like how to, find the best way for you to study. They also do things like a de-stress fest, which is also really nice. So plenty of things going on all the time just to help you, just to support you. And then we also have the Wells Library Learning Commons. I love this area so much. Just the entire first floor of Wells is just filled with really nice study spaces. And, we have whiteboards and rooms that you can reserve and desktops and things like that, and giant printers for you to use. In total, we have 24 campus libraries on our campus for students. Now, typically we offer a robust overseas studies program, but due to the current recent public health concerns, there are some uncertainties surrounding future study abroad programs and opportunities, but I'd still like to take this time to share this information about you. So our Office of Overseas Study offers great support and resources, for students to really explore programs and study abroad. So we have over 380 programs located in 50 different countries and 18 different languages, including English, so there are no excuses. I highly recommend studying abroad. IU is in the top 10 among research universities for the number of students who study abroad, with about 3,000 students who study abroad each year. So we highly encourage our students to take advantage of this. We actually have a passport service on our campus to help you get your passport, because we want you, to study abroad at some point. You can earn credit while you're studying abroad. Some students even participate in internships as part of their study abroad experience. You don't have to do something for an entire semester. We also offer programs where you are gone for just a month in the summer or a week in the spring or something like that. When I was a student, I did an entire semester abroad. I did a month in the summer, and then I did a spring break travel course where you take a course through your school in the spring, and then during spring break, which is just a week, you go abroad. And I did that, and that was wonderful. Now, we do require all first-year students to live on campus. We have 13 residence halls in 4 different neighborhoods. Our housing application comes out in early February, and it's on the housing application that you can put down your preference for which neighborhood you would like to live in. All of the residence halls are pretty different from one another, so I would definitely recommend visiting the RPS website, and they have photos and layouts and things like that, so you can kind of see and get a feel for what neighborhood you'd like to join. I would definitely recommend looking into our learning communities. We have 20 plus different learning communities, and the learning community is just a floor of students who all live together because they have a common interest of some sort. So for example, we have outdoor adventures and activities, we have women in STEM, we have performing arts, you know, students interested in public health, things like that. It's really nice to live on one of those floors because you're living with students who like the things that you like, and so there's that opportunity for that instant connection. And then there's usually a faculty advisor, and that's really nice to have that connection. And then these floors typically also do, you know, special trips on weekends and things like that, which is also really nice. A little bit about campus life and finding your place at IU. We have over 750 different student clubs and organizations on our campus, a wide variety of things that students have created and are getting involved in. At the beginning of each semester, we host a student involvement fair where all of our different clubs and organizations will come out and you can walk around and get a feel for what it is that you want to get involved in. So we do have things that focus specifically, you know, on your professional development or community service or getting involved in Bloomington. But we also have things like the Squirrel Club, right? Or when I was a student, I was in the hula hooping club, and that was really fun, and I really enjoyed that. So definitely recommend getting involved in a club or an organization. If you don't find something that you like, you can create your own club. It's super easy. All you need is a faculty sponsor and a few friends, and that's it. We also have 70 plus Greek life organizations, if that's something that you're interested. Typically 15 to 20% of students will participate in that. And then we also offer 55 plus different club and intramural sports. If you like staying active, you want to get involved in that, we offer things like flag football, soccer, things like that. We also have 2 main gyms on our campus. They're both really nice. Bloomington itself and IU are both very bike friendly and runner friendly. So if you like doing those things outdoors, I would definitely recommend doing that. It's a nice place to do that. If you have a bike, I would recommend bringing a bike. And then we host over 1,500 plus artistic and cultural performances each year. A lot of these are put on by students for students. So our students in the Jacobs School of Music are really talented. They're ridiculously talented. The Jacobs School of Music is a highly ranked school. So a lot of these programs are free or they are heavily discounted. So for the professional productions that we bring to campus, they're usually heavily discounted for students. So I definitely recommend taking advantage of that because it's just super fun. And I love going to the performances. They're usually amazing. So IU was established in 1820. We are 200 years old as of this year. That's pretty old for the Midwest. We won't talk about schools on the East Coast. We're pretty old for the Midwest. So we have a lot of traditions on our campus. I'll talk about a few. So the IU Dance Marathon happens every year, typically in October. And what students do is they will dance for either 12, 24, or 36 hours in a row to raise money for the Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis. 36 hours in a row. They're the second largest student-run philanthropic organization in the nation, and last year they raised over $4.3 million just in 1 year, which is amazing. So definitely recommend getting involved in that. You don't have to dance for 36 hours. You can do the 12, which is still a lot, but another thing that I really love that we have is Culture Fest, and we do that at the beginning of the year. On our campus, we have different cultural centers. Like I said before, we have students from all 50 states and 140 different countries. So what Culture Fest really is just showcasing the diversity that we have on campus. It's a way for you to really interact with those other students and get to know your peers. And there's a lot of free food, which is really nice. Definitely go to events where there's free food. And then we are a Division I school. We have 24 Division I sports. Our motto is 24 sports, one team, because all of our students are playing different sports, but at the end of the day, we're all Hoosiers and we love to support one another. 22 of these sports are free for students to go and see. The only 2 that aren't free are football and men's basketball, but everything else is free. We are really good in men's soccer, swimming and diving. If anybody knows who Lily King is, she just graduated, but she won gold medals at the Olympics and she was swimming here for us, which was great. Definitely recommend going to these games because they're super fun. I don't know if anybody's been to a game, but there's nothing quite like being in the Simon Scott Assembly Hall when people are excited. It's electric. You can't not be excited. And then at IU, the benefit that we all receive from the diversity of our community is a central component, of our academic mission. So we continue to work to ensure that our campus communities are places where differences of all kinds are respected, valued, and protected. So currently on our campus, 24% of our domestic students are of color. As I mentioned before, we do have campus cultural centers. I would definitely recommend checking those out. All of the campus cultural centers are in these little cozy houses on the same street, and their doors are always open for students. So whether you'd like to go and join or you're just curious and you want to learn more, they are wonderful, wonderful spaces. So we have things like First Nations, we have the Asian Culture Center, we have La Casa, we have LGBTQ+. I definitely recommend looking into those. We also have the Office of Disability Services for Students, and they are dedicated to ensuring that students with disabilities have the tools, support services, and resources that allow equal access and reasonable accommodations to be successful at IU. And I keep saying this, I know, but the people in that office, they are wonderful. They're so amazing. I definitely recommend reaching out to them if you have any additional questions about that, because they're super wonderful. And really, again, we really want to support you while you're here. And then the Office of the Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Multicultural Affairs. What they do is cultivate a diverse, inclusive environment that supports equal access, participation, and representation on all IU campuses. So what they do is they provide academic support, scholarship opportunities, diversity education, anti-racism education, and initiatives to the university community. One of my study abroad opportunities was actually through this office, and it was a wonderful experience. I don't know if anybody has been to campus before. If you haven't, we do have a virtual tour on our website. I think it's pretty good. I would definitely recommend doing that. We have consistently been named one of the most beautiful college campuses in the country. I mean, we really are. It's a wonderful place to be. Excuse me. I really love Bloomington, and I love IU. It's a cozy place. We're in the middle of 3 state parks, so there are plenty of things to do on the IU campus and in the Bloomington community. The local music scene is really nice. We actually also have a ton of ethnic food. We actually have the 2nd most ethnic food per capita in the nation. We're just behind New York, which is awesome. We really are just the quintessential college town. And then we want you to have experiences outside of the classroom. We know how important it is for you to have those experiential learning experiences, and so we offer opportunities for you to take your learning beyond the classroom. So for example, we have programs like the Center of Excellence for Women in Technology, and what they do is they help female students at IU get access to scholarships and internships. And then we also have the O'Neill School's Washington Leadership Program, and through that program, students live, work, and learn in Washington, D.C. while receiving IU credit. And so both of these are just kind of examples of ways that you can take your IU education beyond the classroom, but we offer plenty of additional opportunities on top of those that I mentioned. IU is a Tier 1 research institution. We do a lot and we do it well. We're one of the world leaders in fruit fly genetics, if that's something that's of interest to you. I personally love the campus farm. I live right by the farm, and the campus farm is run by a man named Dr. Farmer, and it doesn't get any better than that, in my opinion. We have plenty of opportunities for you to get involved in research. You can get involved as early as your first year if that's something that you'd like to do. Again, I really want to highlight the importance of getting to know faculty, because they are the ones who are conducting research. So just getting to know them, you get to learn about these opportunities. And yes, we offer research opportunities in the hard sciences, but we also offer research opportunities across all of our schools and all of our programs. So definitely recommend looking into that. And then additionally, we do encourage students to seek out internships as early as your first year. These internships will allow you to connect with potential employers, gain experience, and really kind of test run your career path. So we had 4,200 4-credit internships that were completed by IU students in the 2018-2019 year, plus thousands of more non-credit internships. So definitely recommend doing an internship at some point. Now, if anybody's interested in our honors college, it's a really great way for you to kind of narrow down your education even more. So you take smaller, more challenging courses. You have a Hutton Honors Advisor that you work with. Students across all of our schools and all of our programs are invited to join Hutton, which is really nice. You are automatically considered when you submit your complete application for admission to us by our November 1 deadline. So again, there are also opportunities for you to go to special seminars and events, and then you could also receive funding for research or studying abroad. We also have a Hutton Honors floor, so if you want to live with other honor students on the same floor, that's something that you could do as well. And then I already kind of touched on internships a bit, but I want to talk more about the career services that we have on our campus. So we do have a main career development center for all of our exploratory students, as well as 12 school-specific career centers on campus, which are fully staffed with advisors to assist you in your preparation, from mock job interviews to resume workshops. We host job and internship fairs. For those of you who are interested in continuing your education after your undergrad at IU, we do have the Health Professions and Pre-Law Center. We don't offer specific pre-med or pre-law tracks. We allow students to major in whatever they like, and then you work with the Health Professions and Pre-Law Center. You are given an advisor who you kind of work with all 4 years to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do so that you are prepared to continue your education after you leave us. That's how we do it on our campus. So each year, more than 1,300 organizations will recruit on the IU campus. And IU grads have found jobs in 46 states and 29 countries. And then we also have one of the largest living alumni networks in the world, with over 500,000 Hoosiers living worldwide, which is amazing. And I really want to stress that Hoosier to Hoosier hospitality is so real. It is. It's amazing. Hoosiers love to help Hoosiers. Whew. I know that was a lot of information so far, so now I'm going to talk about how to apply. I hope for my seniors that you've already started or you've already submitted your application. So there are 3 options to apply to IU. We have the Apply IU application, the Common application, and the Coalition application. We don't have a preference for which application platform you use. It doesn't matter to us. We use the same review process for each one. So the only thing we ask is that you only submit one. Whichever one you start, we only need one. Now, here are the things that you need to submit in order to have a complete application. So we need your completed online application. We need your fee at $65, or if you're eligible, we do offer fee waivers. There's an IU-specific essay. It's just 200 to 400 words, just like half a page. We need your official high school transcript sent directly from your high school, and then your SAT and or ACT scores if applicable. We have gone test optional, and I will talk about that more in just a minute. So November 1, I'm going to say this date a lot. November 1 is our early action non-binding deadline and the deadline for highest scholarship consideration. So you want to make sure you hit this deadline. Something that I'd really like to stress is that everything has to be received and filed by November 1. So if you asked your counselor to send us your transcript on October 31st, we're probably not going to get it in time. At the peak of our application season, sometimes it can take us up to a week and a half to receive and transcribe transcripts. So just kind of keep that in mind. Make sure you're giving yourself enough time, make sure you're giving your counselor enough time, make sure you're giving us enough time to actually receive and process all of your materials. So just keep that in mind. So self-reported and test optional. So you have the option to share either official or self-reported scores on your application. And if you're offered admission, the offer will be contingent upon the receipt of those official test scores from the testing agencies, and those test scores must be higher or match what you self-reported during the admissions process. And then, as mentioned previously, IU has adopted a test optional admissions policy. So students who apply, you can choose at the point of application whether to have your test scores considered as part of your admissions review, really letting you decide how best to tell your academic story. So research indicates that for most students, your high school GPA and your test scores provide the best prediction of academic success at IU. However, for some students, a standardized test score may not show all that they are capable of or really tell the full story of their potential. So each individual student will determine if they should apply test optional. However, we do have various resources and guidance available through our office, through our website. There's that Go URL down there at the bottom if you'd like to go to that page. And then also through me, so if you'd like to talk to me, if you have any questions about this at all, whether or not to apply test optional, please feel free to reach out. Now, something that we're doing this year, if you're applying for fall 2021 and you haven't been able to take, a test because of COVID-19, we have updated our process just for this year to allow you to apply test optional at the point of application, and if you wish, have your scores considered later. So just make sure you hit that November 1 deadline, and then maybe you get a test in and you decide that you do want us to review your test scores. You can submit a form on our website and let us know, and we will do that. You have until January 15th to make that decision. Now, admission to IU is selective, and we consider factors that emphasize academic performance and preparation, throughout your entire high school career, including senior year. We do require you to submit your final high school transcript after you graduate, so please don't get senioritis. Excuse me. Okay, so we want to see you complete at least 34 credits of college preparatory courses. That's all listed. All the credits are listed on our website. We do focus on English, math, science, social science, and foreign language. And we will review and consider the rigor of your coursework. So if you've taken AP, honors, IB, full credit. With your GPA, we'll take your weighted or unweighted GPA, whichever one is higher, that's the one that we're going to take. We are going to look at your grades in your college preparatory courses. We're going to look at your grade trends. Are there inconsistencies? Have they gone up throughout the years? Have they gone down? Things like that. And then test scores, again, if applicable, if you decide that you'd like to send those. I did want to mention that we do super score. So if you do decide that you'd like to send your test scores and you've tested multiple times, we will super score that for you. And then the essay, as I said before, is just 200 to 400 words. You'll be asked to describe your academic and career plans, any special interests that you have. This is also a space where you can talk about any challenges that you have faced and overcome in pursuit of your education. So maybe something happened sophomore year and your grades dipped a little bit. The essay is kind of the space where you can talk about that. You only have to share as much information as you are comfortable sharing. You don't have to go into great detail if you don't want to. And then we do look at, additional factors. Supplemental information can be considered as part of our holistic review process. So we may take into account, one teacher recommendation, one counselor recommendation. If you did want to submit those, they're not required. And then in your application, we're also going to look at any extracurricular activities, community service, work and leadership experience that you have. And I always tell students there's no such thing as giving us too much information. If you think it's important, if you think it's relevant, if you think it's something that we should know as we're looking through your application, you should go ahead and tell us. We receive over 43,000 applications every single year. Every single one is read and looked at by a person. On average, we look at applications about 3 to 4 times before we make a decision. So not to scare anybody, but I can tell when you put in the effort. So have a friend read over your application, have a guardian, a parent, a counselor, a teacher, before you submit it to us. So to provide some additional context, this is the middle 50% for students who were admitted in 2020. This is just to give you an idea of students who we have admitted in the past. These are by no means minimums that you have to have. We admit students 25% below these ranges and 25% above. This is just to give you an idea. And then here is our timeline. So if you submit a complete application for admission by November 1, you'll receive a response no later than January 15th. However, the sooner you get it in, the sooner you'll hear back from us. We do rolling admission. So typically we start releasing decisions mid to late October. And then our regular decision deadline is February 1. If you hit that, you'll receive a response no later than March 15th. And then applications received after February 1st are considered on a space available case-by-case basis. You don't have to worry about any of that if you just hit November 1. Now, IU offers many scholarship opportunities. All students, again, who submit a complete application for admission by November 1st are considered for an IU academic scholarship and for the selective scholarship. So a little bit about the IU academic scholarship. We have one for in-state students and we have one for out-of-state students. The one for out-of-state students is our Dean's Scholarship. It ranges from $1,000 to $11,000 a year, and it's 4-year renewable. There's nothing additional that you need to do. All you have to do is hit November 1. You're automatically considered. If you are offered something from the academic scholarship, you'll receive a letter in your admit packet that will have more information about that. And then with the selective scholarship application, selective scholarships are given by specific schools, programs, departments, things like that. So kind of depending on who you are and what you want to study. You might be eligible for some, you might not be eligible for others. It just kind of depends. If you are eligible for some, you'd receive an email from the Office of Scholarships that will say, hey, this is the selective scholarship application. Please fill it out and get it back to us. And that's usually due mid-January. But I actually think the deadline for this year is being pushed back to February 1. So for example, if you are invited to join Hutton, you'd be invited through the selective scholarship application. And if you go to the Office of Scholarships website, scholarships.indiana.edu, they list out all of these selective scholarships and additional information. There are additional scholarships you can apply for that aren't tied to this process. I would definitely recommend visiting the website. You know, we have an entire page called non-IU scholarships, and these are scholarships that are external to the university, but that you may be eligible for. So I just definitely recommend browsing the website. If you're not sure where to start, it's definitely worth it just to call the Office of Scholarships and say, hey, this is who I am, this is where I'm from, this is what I want to do and what I want to study. Can you help point me in the right direction? And that's something that they can do for you. Now you could be eligible for additional aid. Please fill out the free application for Federal Student Aid, or the FAFSA, that opens October 1st of your senior year and it's due April 15th. You could be eligible for grants, loans, work study. Typically we send out financial aid notices to students starting in February, but you have until April 15th to send that to us. A website that's not listed on here, but that I love, is moneysmarts.iu.edu. It's actually an award-winning website. It's super awesome. They have a lot of great information just about managing costs. They have great things like quizzes and stuff like that, and information like, you know, what's the difference between a subsidized and an unsubsidized loan? You know, what are the kind of questions that I should be asking right now? So definitely moneysmarts.iu.edu. I love that website. Whew. I know we went through a lot of information in just half an hour. So these are the next steps. Please make sure that you have all 34 of those college preparatory credits that we require. Again, that list is on our website. Continue to seek out those opportunities to build your skills. Take the SAT or ACT if you'd like to, if applicable. And again, please don't get senioritis. Apply for the FAFSA and make sure you hit that November 1 deadline. Here's my contact information. And if anybody has any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm typically pretty fast to reply to emails. Now I'm going to answer the questions. Question from Jennifer. How would you describe the type of student that attends IU? Oh, wow, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. I feel like there's so many different types of students. I feel like the type of student that we have sometimes kind of depends on the school, but typically I would say that our students are very driven. I think our students are very driven and very open and very engaged. That's how I think our students are. They are very involved. Our students are always doing a lot of things, whether that's research or clubs and organizations or setting up meetings or things like that. Our students are very engaged on campus and in the community. Our students are very active. They're always doing something. So definitely the students who are on our campus, yes, they're very involved. They're very go-to. They're go-getters. I think, yeah, that's the type of student we have on our campus. That's a really good question, Jennifer. Thank you. Any other questions at all? I was a student once. Wasn't that long ago. Well, I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
Hi, so I have just a few extra announcements at the end to share. So I'm going to take control now of my screen. And as a reminder, when you close out of this session, there will be a quick survey. It's just 4 questions for you to fill out based on your experience with Megan just now. We encourage you to sign up for additional sessions as well that OACAC is offering through this virtual college exploration series. And as a reminder, this will be recorded and put on the OACAC website along with all of the other presentations that we're hosting through this series as well. So thank you so much for joining us and good luck on your college search. Bye.